Hello everyone, welcome to part 3 of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I'm showcasing the remaining magic skills in the game. The good thing about these is you can actually activate these skills on command if you know the combinations. So no need to collect the scrolls from the librarian. Dark Metamorphosis. My favorite magic skill is definitely the Soul Steal. It drains health points from not only enemies, but anything with an active hitbox. That includes candles, and that adds towards your health points. The other magic skills range from long-range projectiles to blood-sucking, like a true vampire, or a Dampier, as Alucard is still partially human. What is a man? Anyway, let's get moving. There's more of this castle we need to explore, including the Long Library. And we got the Gladius, which is a play on words of Gradius. Or an actual sword that exists, but still. Konami! There is an actual Gradius reference in this game. You have to combine one of the shields with the Gladius, I think? I'm not sure how to do that, but I'll figure it out sometime. As for the Long Library, which is the location we're about to go to next, there are a bunch of returning enemies. One such enemy is the Ectoplasm. It makes their reappearance from Super Castlevania, albeit in a different sort of look. They are no longer translucent spotlights. Another enemy making a return is the Dullahan. Their first appearance was in Castlevania 3, and their behavior is much the same as it was in that game. They lunge forth with their lances, or rapiers, then take 2 steps backward. A returning feature from Rondo of Blood that I'm so glad is in this game is when you crouch, you can nullify your knockback. And you'll even take slightly less damage too when you're ducking. So when it looks like you're about to take an inevitable hit, take advantage of ducking. Elevator activated. Now we can get the Soul of Wolf. The wolf form is kind of underwhelming for right now, but trust me, when you get the other 2 power-ups for it, it becomes a force to be reckoned with. As for the third and final returning enemy for the library, the last but not least, is the Hunchback, or Fleaman. They actually first showed up in the Marble Gallery, but they're more prominent in the library. Hoppity bastards. Now here's the Holy Book. It swipes around Alucard rapidly. It's good for close encounters. Of the Third Kind. That's a famous movie that I've never seen before in my lifetime, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I guess releasing a sci-fi film in 1977 would be overshadowed by A New Hope. Another famous film that I've never seen, but apparently everybody else saw, was Willow. Never seen Willow before. Anyway, these pathways serve as teleportation points. This will make getting around the castle easier as it sends the player to central points on the map. The symbols in these rooms are a mix between the Western and Chinese zodiac. And there is a Tiger Warp Room in the Saturn version, but not in the PlayStation game. That Warp Room belongs to the Underground Garden, which is underneath the castle's entrance area on the Sega Saturn. And just remember that the scorpion symbol is the outer wall. And it's unusually foggy outside. Now, I did say in the previous part that Symphony of the Night is affected by real time, but it doesn't have a sunrise-sunset feature. It still has weather mechanics, though. However, I don't think weather in the outer wall is affected by the console's clock. It seems more like a random occurrence. Anyway, we got the wolf. Again, the wolf is very piddly for the time being, but give it a few more hours. He'll be awesome. The library is probably my favorite area of the game. I love the golden look of the surroundings and some of the enemies here. Well, the ectoplasms and floating books can die in a fire. A big one. But other than that, this area is completely cozy. Now, you want to go left here. Oh, here to Fleeman. Oh, piss off. Go back to Notre Dame. But keep going left here and you'll get yourself another Cuirass, which is actually kind of underleveled since I already got the Mirror Cuirass, but it's still suitable. Here's me demonstrating Dark Metamorphosis. You have to have the enemy's blood sprayed towards Alucard for it to work. Sometimes the blood will spatter in the opposite direction and the move will not register because, well, Alucard's not touching the blood that's going in the opposite way. I like that insane attention to detail. This game has really good attention to detail that still amazes me that it came out in 1997. Like the voice acting, for example, is way ahead of its time. The original, not the redub. This game and Metal Gear Solid were two shining examples of good 90s voice acting in video games. Even though some of the voice acting in the original was kind of janky. Die, monster. You don't belong in this world. I swear, it's just Richter that's odd. Anyway, here are the ectoplasms. Don't touch these guys, otherwise you'll get cursed. In which case you won't be able to attack. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes, I miss old school Konami. You know, Rocket Knight, Turtles, MGS, Contra. Even though Contra sort of fell off later towards the late 90s, but still. Contra, Castlevania. Some freak's gonna say Rumble Roses. Well, I am a wrestling fan, so Rumble Roses works. Or at least I was a wrestling fan. I'm more of a fair-weather sort of casual fan nowadays of wrestling. Hell, I don't even know half the roster on Raw. All I know is that Edge is in AEW now, and I still don't care. As much as I love Edge, I don't really care about AEW. Anyway, we're about to pick up the Fairy Scroll, which finally gives us the name of the enemies. You thought I was just bullshitting the names, did you? Well, I think I was bullshitting the Fleaman's name. I think they're actually called Hunchbacks in this version. And Duran, that's actually a misspelling. It's pronounced Dullahan. There are a lot of misspellings in this game. The biggest offender is Cthulhu, in which there's no H in the name, so it's really unpronounceable in this game.
It's been a long time, old one.
Eh? Why, it's Master Alucard. Come to visit, have we?
I need your help.
Oh, but young master, I could never betray the good count.
You won't go unrewarded.
Really? In that case, just tell me what you need.
Sweet, we found the librarian. Now get the Jewel of Open and the map right now. Right now. Everything else after that is your choice to buy, but mainly get those two items. The library cards are useful too, they'll just warp you back to the librarian from anywhere in the castle, so you might want to stock up on some of those. The Soul Steel is incredibly broken. You can see why it's my favorite move to use. It does cost the most MP out of any other magic skill, so I can't just use it willy-nilly. Wow, I hate that saying. It just sounds so bad. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make my way back to the castle entrance in order to gain access to the Royal Chapel. That's right, I'm going for the double jump. Now I see some people go for the underground passageway before the double jump, but I don't know why you would do that, but to each their own. It's just easier to get the double jump now. That, and there are also a lot of feisty jumps in the underground sections. Kingdom Hearts! That gateway seriously looks like a keyhole. Alright, we're back at the beginning. That blue glowing door that leads to the left section of the castle can now be opened with the Jewel of Open. Wow, that's a really original name for the thing. Jewel of Open. Why not just call it the Sesame Topaz or something? Get it? Because open sesame? Apparently I'm not good with names either. But now it's not the time for such nonsense as naming an item. There are some more secrets in the Alchemist's laboratory, but I don't have the means of getting to those secrets just yet. I'm gonna need the bat form for that. What a horrible night to not have the bat form. It's especially weird since Alucard naturally can turn into a bat in Castlevania 3. I guess he forgot how to do it. Alucard has to relearn everything, including his own vampirism. I still blame death. You know that song, Don't Fear the Reaper? Yeah, I still fear the Reaper in this game. At the end of the day, Grim always wins. bitch. Alucard's badass enough to punch axes out of the air. That's actually something I remember you can do in Streets of Rage as well. You can punch stuff that's thrown at you. And hell, we can even go as far as Resident Evil 4 Remake. Leon and Ada can parry stuff out of the air with their knives. Whenever I play Metroidvanias, I always get the satisfying feeling whenever I access new areas. It's this feeling of solving another piece of the puzzle.
Alucard, wasn't it? We meet again.
So it seems.
As friendly as ever, I see. It's strange. This castle's different than I remember it.
This castle is a creature of chaos. With each rebirth, it takes a new form.
And here I thought my mind was playing tricks. Well, there's nothing for it. Till we meet again.
Maria and Alucard just explained to us why there are so many damn sequels in this series. And it's not even on a linear timeline either. This is a sequel to 1993's Rondo of Blood. The previous game in the franchise was Dracula X on the Super Nintendo. Oh, wait a minute, that's still Rondo of Blood. It's just a shittier version of Rondo of Blood. So let's just say the previous game in the franchise was Bloodlines, which took place in the 1910s. And strangely enough, that game did not take place in Castlevania for most of it. Everything else was in Europe. The last level was indeed Castlevania, but still. What I'm saying is that Castlevania has a really confusing chronology. Much like Assassin's Creed, but honestly, Castlevania is way better than Assassin's Creed. Anyway, welcome to the Royal Chapel. This place can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. It's certainly better than the underground caverns, but we're not at that point yet. There's a trick you can do in this section, and it involves that huge spike ball. Not have it roll towards me. Okay, what I want to do is walk out of the room and then re-enter it. Okay, so look at my experience now. I'm at 4,722. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna punch the shit out of that spike ball. Believe it or not, the spike ball will give you a ton of experience. I guess because it's very hard to take down, it has super high defense. Even with the dual knuckles, I can only do ones. Well, besides criticals, of course. Got some lovely sound dissonance right here. Church music to go along with somebody punching a steel ball. Okay then. There we go. Now look at my experience. 5,045. So if you want to gain a few levels quickly, by all means, use that ball. And here's another strange discrepancy. The ball is a part of the bone pillar, and thus it's listed as bone pillar, but it will give off its own experience. And here's the puppet sword. I'm not dealing with this shit today. As you can see, the puppet sword is a bit hard to hit. We got another deceptive jump right here. Remember to just jump on the very edge of the platform, and you'll get the goggles. It increases intelligence. Does not do anything for defense. And you may be thinking, oh, it increases IQ but not defense? Oh, that sucks. Well, not really. I'm using magic. And magic is tied to IQ. And here's where we're realistically supposed to get the Night Shield. I really broke this game hard. This game does have a random numbers generator that lives up to its name. I honestly can't tell you how long it's going to take me to get the Chrysogram. It could be 10 minutes, it could be 2 hours. I've had both of those experiences before. Anyway, here's the confessionary hall. Oh, this guy's a dick. When it comes to the confession booth, you can sit on the confessor's side and you can sit on the priest's side. And there are two different types of spirit for the priest and the confessor. Hostile and friendly. This lady right here is friendly. Too bad there's no dialogue for this section though. There is dialogue for the friendly priest, but not the friendly confessor. Here's the real priest.
Rest your weary soul here. May the
Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost be with you. Amen.
The friendly priest will give you grape juice if you're patient enough. Or lucky. Again, this game's RNG is kinda tricky. Okay, here's the hostile spirit for the confessor. You hate beautiful men. Duly noted. In the Japanese version, the grape juice is actually wine. Which, honestly, at first, I thought it was a censorship thing. But some churches do use grape juice in place of wine. So that's a nice fun fact. This location is where the enemies start to get a bit more annoying. And here's the cool thing about the Skellerangs. You walk up to them, and they cower in place. I think that's the only enemy in the game that does that. These guys are definitely bitch-made, along with 90% of the enemies in the Royal Chapel. Over here is a dead end, or at least a one-way entrance. I have to come in from the other side. Can we talk about the music in Symphony of the Night? Because this is hands down one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Not just in video games, but anything period. That includes TV shows, movies, anime, cartoons, anything. And that includes I Am the Wind. For as horribly misplaced as that song was, I still enjoy listening to it. Oh god! But honestly, Mournful Serenade is a better ending theme. It just fits the mood better. Hey, where's this damn crow at? Okay, so sometimes the enemies glow green when they get hit, other times they glow red when they get hit. Is there even a difference? And sometimes they just glow rainbow colored, I don't get it. Again, I've been playing Symphony of the Night for about as long as I can remember, mainly because this game is almost a year older than I am, but that's besides the point. And yet this game still pulls new things on me. That's the mark of a good Metroidvania, when you're still discovering stuff 20 years from now. Super Metroid is a fine example of me finding new stuff even now, 20 years later. Anyway, we got a strength potion, which I never use, and we got the silver plate, which I think might top the Mir Cuirass. Which it does, it's 3 points of defense, but unfortunately it gets rid of the petrification buff. But in this area, it's not like I need to worry about getting petrified. It's mostly just stupid enemy placement that's the problem with the Royal Chapel. It's mainly the black crows in this area. They can be a pain to deal with if you don't have an axe. Or if you have a low amount of hearts like I do. Alright, so you see that crow? It's time to clip his wings with it. Or he's just gonna do that. Man, I swear, the crows have always been annoying in all of these games. Oh, son of a... You see what I mean? These guys come out of nowhere. Up here is going to be a zirconia ring, which is only useful for sewing. I mean, Alucard can equip it, but it doesn't do anything. And here's the next boss of the game, the Hippogriff. The Hippogriff is really simple. Now, for whatever reason, he likes to stay on the ground to fight me, even though he can fly. Oh, that's really dumb of you. The boss will lay eggs and spawn miniature hippogriffs that fly towards you. And that's about it. Again, the boss is super easy.
You look like you're doing well for yourself.
What is it you want? You didn't come here to tell me that.
True. Do you know the name Richter Belmont?
Belmont? Of course. Why?
He disappeared about a year ago. I'm sure he's here now. If you see him, please let me know.
As you wish, my lady.
A gentleman after all. Thank you.
Good old Maria. Man, how the hell is she getting through the castle so quickly? Oh, I see. She's playing it like the older Castlevania games. Just going from level to level. But Maria... Ham and eggs, what? Maria here is looking for Richter. Or Richter, if you want to pronounce it like that. Richter disappeared sometime before Castlevania's reemergence. And that's his and Maria's part of the story. Oh, goddamn crows. Bitch. Now, obviously, between this game and Rondo of Blood, Maria has grown up a bit, and she's honed her skills quite drastically. In what was either the Japanese PlayStation version or the Sega Saturn version, Maria is quite the capable martial artist. She can do a whole bunch of punches and kicks and Hadokens and Shoryukens. I think she has a spear too, I don't know. But no, seriously, she's a martial artist in the Japanese versions. However, in the American versions, she plays more like her Rondo of Blood counterpart. So Maria's basic attacks are her sending out doves towards enemies, and her sub-weapons are replaced with animal summons. Now, the bad thing about the American version of Symphony of the Night is you cannot pick Maria from the start of the game. First, you have to complete the game, then load up a fresh save file, then type in Maria as your name. Same thing goes for Richter. You beat the game first, you type in Richter as your name, then you can play as Richter. I don't know why they cut the character select off the overseas version. That's something I'll never understand. But it doesn't matter. This room is tricky because of the flea riders. They like to... Oh, I hate these things. Oh no, there's another one! They're just barely out of reach, so you can't attack them, but they can still hit you. Ah! Did not think I could do that with a rebound shot. Oh, there's a third one. Oh god, this is getting crazy. I just want my double jump. Let me get the double jump, guys. There we go, the leap stone. Now we can reach higher places with a double jump. Still not the most ideal way of getting around though. We need the bat form. One good thing about the leap stone is you can actually do a Goomba stomp now. You just have to press the jump button 3 times. And this song sounds like Blade Runner. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it sounds like the ending credits to Blade Runner. Anyway, we got a nifty sword here and it's called the Tierfing. Tierfing. Okay, however you pronounce it. Let's see what it does. Oh, what the hell? It's a cursed dark sword. And it's complete ass, so don't equip that. Just stick with the cutlass or whatever you've been using. It doesn't even have damage value. I'm not even sure if... Oh, I'm not even going to spoil it, but there's a certain boss in the game that uses holy attacks. I'm not even sure if it can damage him. But in part 4, we're going to take a look at the Colosseum.